can lay it like that, or you can set it like that. I'll walk around with it like this all the time. So it's a nice convenient, I like kind of wrap 2 fingers around it when I'm holding it because it's just secure.
So you don't have to manually be driving it.
Correct.
Okay.
Our friendly battery here, not only does it power that, there's a slot for it right here. So there is an internal battery on here. This is the power switch right here. If you press the power switch once, you can read the battery level of the internal battery.
Okay.
There's 4 lights. To supplement that, I have a battery like this. Again, there's a switch on there you can press. Contacts are on the bottom. It goes in the slot. You really kind of have to push. It's a really heavy spring, so I kind of use 2 fingers to kind of push it in and then snap it in place. This battery in the back will keep the battery inside charged at 100%. So it's going to draw off of this one first. So when you're in the field, when you get a low battery warning, you're just going to press the release button here, pull this battery off, and you put another one on. So everything's redundant batteries and they'll charge. These are your antennas. You're going to want these in the up position when you're flying. Okay. There are 2 buttons on the back here, C1 and C2. These are programmable buttons. One recenters the camera, so when the camera position right now, pointing straight ahead, I can press this button, it'll go straight. But you gotta be careful, because you could do this in the middle of a mission and mess up your photography.
Okay.
So that's why I hold it like this. My finger is like off the trigger. You can reprogram this to something else if you want. Okay. The second button here will cycle through the map views. It's got a 6-inch screen. This is an Android-based system, all right? So it's going to be running a specific software on here. You'll be able to see a Google map. You'll be able to see the first-person view camera, or you can see the actual payload camera, okay? And you can use this button to cycle through those views, or you can pick through them.
We may want to reprogram that button because
I'll do it for you.
we may forget
which
one was what.
I can do it for you. I can do them both, so if you want them both, because there's another place where you can reset the gimbal by doing a touch screen. These switches on the front, they manipulate the camera. The one on the right tilts it up and down, the one on the left and right. So you can use these to manually point the camera. So if you are doing inspection with this, let's say, you don't have to turn the drone to face what you want. You can hit the drone in place and move the camera and point the camera where you want to using these buttons here. Okay? One's, like I said, one's pitch up and down, one's all left and right. Snap a photo, record a video. Snap a photo, record a video.
Oh, so you can do like a waiting photograph.
Or you can do it on the screen too.
Oh, okay.
So you have 2 options. I hit these buttons all the time because usually I'm teaching a class. I have it like this. You see what I'm hitting right here? I'm recording like 4 or 5 videos. It's off right now, so I'm not doing anything, but it usually happens to me. On the top.
So that thing that you flipped open?
Yeah, the antennas just flip off.
It has to be in that position
Yes.
all the time. Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause
I mean,
that would be a good protection for the button.
yes. Yeah, I know it would be, but you're supposed to fly like this. On the top is a HDMI port.
Okay.
I'm gonna hook up here. There's a micro SD card, which you can load KML files or GeoTIFF files on. We'll talk
Okay.
about those. You can load DEM files for terrain following, or you can create a mission on Google Earth and export a KMZ, put it on here and load that.
Sure.
Most people don't, but it can be done.
Sure.
And then here's a USB-A out. This can hook up to a computer, or I can hook from here to the battery case to program it, or I can hook from here to the drone to program it, or I can power anything off of there. So it's this little standard 5-volt power. I have customers that have a little Wi-Fi wireless, like almost like a Chromecast. They plug it in the USB or HDMI. They get power off of that. And it just dangles off there, and they can cast their image to monitors or things like that. Okay, so that's, I'm going to hook up this. These are your control sticks. How many have ever flown a drone? No?
Small
No.
ones.
You got your license,
small
though.
ones count.
Yeah, but I don't
Yes,
have
small
one.
ones count.
No,
Yeah,
this-
I've done it. This big ones.
Who made it?
In the laboratory. So
Who manufactured the drone? Was it a DJI drone?
Actually, my friend himself made it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was
Right
in
on.
his lab. Yeah. So
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter who made them. All drones fly the same, even the ones I make. I have a hobbyist drone. I fly first person viewing racing drones, and they all fly the same. What makes this different is if I let go of the controls and just let it sit, it'll just sit in the sky. You could take this off, put it in the sky, and just hover it for an hour if you want to. Set the controller down, it'll stay right where it is.
And I should add that I'm terrible at flying drones.
Oh, well.
I almost messed up that once.
Well, we're all gonna fly this, so. So this is standard drone flight. When the engines are powered on, you can power the engines on by pulling these down and out or down and in. So if the drone was on and I did this, if the controller's off, I would never do that. The motors are gonna start rotating, okay? At that point, it's gonna power on. The left stick up raises the drone, down lowers the drone. To the left here will rotate, rotate. So this is your up, down, rotate right, rotate left. These are your translate buttons. Translate forward, translate back, left and right. Okay. So between these you can go up, down, rotate, translate, forward. Again, at any time you let go of the controls, it'll stop. When you're in mission mode, you're doing nothing but babysitting. It's gonna do its own thing. It's a robot. You're programming a robotic flight. You just press the play button, let it, it'll take off, it'll start up itself, take off by itself, start the mission, fly the mission, come back, land, and turn off, all by itself. The only thing you need to do as a pilot is to monitor it and take control if you need to in an emergency situation. Crop duster comes over, helicopter, or whatever, you're gonna pause the mission, slam this down to lower the drone. Once the danger's passed, you just press the play button, it goes back up, resumes the mission.
So
No,
how
he's like me
often
though,
do
I
you
like,
manually?
oh, I do it all the time because it's fun.
Yeah. So how often we do have to manually do it? What
Very
conditions
rare.
may?
If you're doing, let's say you're doing an inspection. Okay. Inspections are one of those things you're gonna manually fly to different locations of interest.
Because you don't know what is the path.
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
Okay. This switch right here is a mode switch. By default, it's turned off. You always want this in the P, the GPS positional mode. The other mode is sport mode. The other mode is what's called tripod mode. In tripod mode, where this activated, the drone creeps along very slow. It's used for cinematography. P mode is where we're going. But right now, the switch software disconnected. So even if it's in one of these other positions, it's not going to affect it. It's always in P mode. 4 buttons on the front. This is your 5-way switch, which you don't have the inspection camera. This controls zoom and the EV plus, EV minus of the camera. So you can brighten or darken the image. You don't touch this switch. You're not going to use it in any configuration that you have. These last two, we talked the power switch. To power on this, you're going to press once, press and hold just like you do the drone. You'll hear the haptic, you'll feel the haptic feedback. The screen's going to turn on, and it's going to launch DJI Pilot 2 automatically. It's a very bright screen. You can see it in the bright noon sunlight very easily. Okay. Notice the light at the top says green. It's connected to the drone.
Oh, okay.
So now if I move this switch at the top, you see the camera move. Switch it up. So I can pitch the camera any way I want. Now I'm not showing anything, so you're not seeing anything, but just showing you how these switches work. So it's nice and slow, it's not super fast. You have a lot of control over this. Okay. In normal situations though, it is, I can't do it while I'm not in that view, that's okay. All right, I'm gonna hook this up to, this other switch. The 2 most important switches on the controller, bar none, are these last 2 right here. This is your return to home. At any point, you can press and hold this. You're gonna press it, it's gonna start beeping. and then it's going to say, return to home. Once it does that, you can let go. The aircraft will stop what it's doing, it'll climb to a predetermined altitude that you program, and straight beeline home, and it'll turn, it'll land when you take off. So if there's an emergency, a storm's coming in, I gotta stop and get the heck out of here, you can press and return that, the drone will come back, land itself, power off, you can go. The second most important button is the pause button. This will interrupt any mission, including landing. So even if it's on its automated landing system and somebody parks a vehicle where you took off from, you can press this, it puts the brakes on, it'll sit there and hover until you tell it what to do. Okay. Two most important buttons. There's also a software pause. It'll appear as a button on the screen that you can press. So you can either press here or you can soft press the button there. Okay. The screen automatically turns off after inactivity. If it ever turns off, just pop the power button, it'll come back on. I'll change that to up the time, usually up the time to about 10 minutes or something like that, because there's gonna be time where you're gonna be pausing and talking or researching. Okay. Pilot 2 is the program we're gonna go into. You guys can, I'm just gonna hook this up to this. How about that? In fact, I'll take a seat over here or something. Wow, so let's fix that.